Hey guys, it's Pastor Todd again, and in this video blog post this week, we're continuing our discussion of how love came down to us. If you remember last week, we looked at how love came down in the flesh. God in the flesh came down to us. Why? For our salvation, and to reveal God's glory and His mercy and His grace. This week, not only did love come down to us in the flesh, but love came down to us as our example. And probably the greatest example of Jesus' life that we can model is His humility. In Philippians chapter 2, Paul tells us about Jesus' humility and how far He was willing to go for us in that. Paul tells us that Jesus became a man, He became flesh, and He became obedient to death, even death on the cross. So how far was Jesus willing to go for us in humility? He was willing to go all the way. The question is, how far are you willing to go and follow in His example? So what does all this mean? Love coming down is our example. I think it means a lot this time of year. At the Christmas time, all we think about is getting. What am I gonna get for Christmas? What are my parents gonna get me? What are my family members gonna get me? Where humility is all about giving. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, Paul tells us that Jesus considered others as more important than Himself. That's a great definition of humility. Considering others as more important than you. So this time of year, when you think about love coming down as our example, I pray that you would think about not what you're getting, but what you can give. And don't let that be some kind of theoretical idea that just rolls around in your mind. Think of somebody you can give to. How you can humble yourself and think of somebody else as more important than you. Maybe for you and your family it's going to a shelter, maybe to a food bank and serving them this year. Maybe it's literally humbling yourself enough to help somebody. Maybe that somebody, that name, I want you to think of it, is somebody in your church family. Maybe somebody in your family. Maybe it's a next door neighbor. You may be thinking to yourself right now, well, that's going to cost me some time and some money. Well, sure it is. But isn't that the example of Jesus Christ? He gave 33 years thinking of us as more important than Himself. And He gave everything at the end of His life. Won't you take the challenge and follow Jesus this year and give to somebody else?